An is tá caiinte Fiona Coyle Dóchas Fiona tá Fiona lemuid le chéile an Jachan Chacate táid de joinniu ag an ócádig ag Seoladh an Bhliain Eorpach na Forbartha an féidir a intiún faoin lá seoir le hol.
Yeah, tá go maiid Darren. Go muis gan inniu tá ag seo go háfaiciil Bhliain Eorpach na Forbartha in Éireann agus tá an Uachtarán na Michael D ó Higginn ag déanú an seo go háfaiciil in seohanniu agus mar sin i chláil tá brádul letáin Dom Bhliain mar go chuann sin an bhé mar go táhata ta an Bhliain seo de bhuite na Éireann agus bhaitán le teart le chéile daoine tá gúbar a Forbartha thsáile agus daoine go bhfuil sim acu a dóna dhéanú ina écht ní sár agus tá mé líka teart an seo le chéile inniu a caint si go bhairt le chéile agus a ggurc a chur a cisc go ddíra go dé hiag lomsa dhéanú mar daine bhhainn dóna dhéanúiste an écht ní sár in 2015.
Agus tá lán onadí ón agurtaí dabhréil internaisiúnta an Seoladh bhfuil?
Tá heamh dhéhé duine a gáilbh tá dhéhé duine tí sa Sharan seániu agus tá duine is agriarta tá máil a Dóchas agriarta táhacht in Éireann agus agriartaí táhacht ar fud an dóin agus tá agriarta an seán cineadón sector príomha de fásta tá cinead a duine cos le Google, KPMG agus neart duine eile an seo le teagháil léine agus le cinead a chur a bhéim go béhrid táhacht an Bhliain seo.
Agus mar ocail scór cad é an teachtracht an bhhaid le a thuirt do dar éistóirí má leis an Bhliain seo?
Yeah, bhíart ciste thráú go dé gléibh si dhéanú bhhainn Bhliain seo hainn dóna dhéaniste han éit ní sár agus ní fémar a bhar na rud mór thuca se go bug agus tá go le hiú isteach na scálan an úbar bhuahain sa tearttaí. Rudí buga a is tíra sin an dóid mí go le dhéanú an dóiste an éit ní sár.
Fiona Gurman am good.
Go maiid go dain.
An is tá caiinte Paula Galvin Paula chunasáú. Paula an féidir leat a intiún faoi chunasátá cuasaí i Dlúndácha in inis?
Tá cuasaí Dlúndáchanig ag dul siar go maiid agus táid ag súil caiiciis cóthrádála a méid dul thart ó fi tríú lá feabhra go dtí 8 Márta agus tá féis de mhór agin in áras crónán agus bé feirmeoirí ón Cameroon agus ón Ghana ag teacht chuing agus bé anspórt agin agus bé daoine ón geantar ag díl cafe agus té cóthrádála so táid ag súla sin.
So tá Dlúndácha an ahananta inis mar go hifigiúil mar bhaile cóir pádála nach bra?
Sin ceart Darren tá sé an chuig sa héin Bhaile Átha a bhfuil status cóthrádála air.
Si go hí go bhí sibh go hí ag gobar go dtíon an sin Dlúndácha ar fá timp bliain nach raibh? Bliain
go le agus tá na daltaí rammarí ag obair tá siad inis sa meánscoil agus tá siad ag déanamh 6 tionscnamh ar cóthrádála so tá siad ag tarint le chéile.
Sin go hí agus just ag caint faoi an lá nniu Seoladh an Bhliain Eorpach na Forbartha is Bhliain an táhacht é seo go?
Ó tá si dantáfata chun seacht le chéile nó grúpa agsúla agus caint ar an tochaí.
Ok, agus cad é mar ocail scór cad a bhaid leat a rád do ar éistóirí ó thaobh an Bhliain seo agus an airnáil Forbartha go generalta.
Ceannig rudaí cóthrádála agus sin a méid.
Okay, Paula, and now I'm talking to Paula Galvin. Paula, how's it going? Paula,
Hi, Darren.
how's life in Clondalkin? You're a teacher over there, and I visited last year with Raidió and the town is officially a fair trade town now, isn't it? And could you just tell us what the latest news is?
Sure, I will, of course. Darren, we became the 51st fair trade town in Ireland on the 9th of March, so we're really looking forward to Fair Trade Fortnight in 2 weeks, from the 23rd of February to the 8th of March, and we're going to officially launch Clondalkin as a fair trade town. So we're having a big multicultural event in Áras Crónán, which is the Irish Centre, and we're going to have hopefully some African drummers and dancers and singers, and we're also going to have a fair trade farmer from the Cameroon and one from Ghana. So lots of excitement.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And how long did the campaign go on for?
It actually we started campaigning back in February 2013. So I suppose the campaign itself took a year to complete. So we're now at the stage where we're trying to get more and more local businesses to change to fair trade practices and stock fair trade tea and coffee.
And you have new banners to go up in the town, don't you?
Well, that's a bit of a contentious issue at the minute. We had beautiful banners designed by a local artist, Dominic O'Halloran, but unfortunately South Dublin County Council aren't giving us permission to put them up. So they have made a promise that they will, in the future, they might incorporate our logo onto banners of their choosing. So it'll be down the road we will have official recognition from them.
Well, that's great. And we're here today at the launching the European Year of Development. You're very involved kind of in the sector with a lot of interest and work over the years, aren't you?
I do. I have a great interest in development education, and I did my master's in how to engage children in issues of social justice. So I'm hoping to do my PhD now in it next year with the University of Lancaster. So I also lecture in St. Pat's and Drumcondra in Teacher as Person and the Global Teacher. So I've a lot of fingers and a lot of pies. Kept busy.
Yeah, and do you think this is a great opportunity this year to this year is so important, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And I think particularly in view of the fact that 2015 was to be the year when the MDGs were achieved, it gives us a huge impetus to put, I suppose, to add extra to those, and I know the UN have added, there's 17 particular spheres, and I suppose with more and more interest in the whole notion of climate justice, that's another huge area that I'm looking into as well.
Yeah, so we're here before the launch, so you're looking forward. It's going to be a good day, yeah?
It's going to be fantastic, yes, and I met President Higgins at an amnesty event, so I'm really looking forward to meeting with him, and there's lots of other people that I would know sort of tangentially, so it's good to make links with them.
And it's an important a vehicle, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, yes. I mean, and I think it's important to bring all those groups together that have an interest in development and development education, and make links that'll forge the future for us.
Okay, Paula, thanks very much.
Thanks a lot, Darren.
Uachtarán tá Seoladh Gníomhaí agat. Céco tábhachta am cór a bheith an bhliain seo an Bhliain Eorpach na Forbartha is saoil Múinteoir na hÉireann an domhan agus ditse hain go pásanna.
Well, another tábhacht ag fin bhliain seo go bhíle sa cúideach ná go bhfuil go próisis fíorthábhacht ach an céad buineann sé le nethir nós bachtanas nós chothramíocht le bhéal dán de sé sin na sprucanna thiocig in áit na World Millennium Development Goals mar atá go gartha. An tarna próisis tá se cábhachtar comá agus sé sin ceis na héráide caithmid rud éigeanna dhéanamh agus níl an am agin mar tá dán bhd níos fullingin ná mar cheap daoine faoi climate change. Tá an gopróséis nasca heile céile ar bhealach agus tá trí cruinithe mhóra an ceanna míúil mar hampla cunas is féidir an airgeadúna sprucan an nua. Ceanna éile mí meánár agus duine ag déireann na bhliana ag an cruinniú i Paris. So beg an taucaí ar fad ag bra ar na cinethe a tógfar agus sin an tábhacht agus cuim gagra agus bannacht ar Dóchas agus ísa chuir le céile an díspóracht a meid ar siúlar le bhéile éasúla san tíir seo ag olahú das na próséisina sin.
Agus bhí just beúla.
Gur amach go bhíochas ar an leat.
Now I'm talking to Jim Clarken, the CEO of Oxfam Ireland. Jim, how's it going? Jim, could you tell us about your interest in the European Year of Development, please?
Well, 2015 is going to be one of the biggest years in the development spectrum forever. This is an absolutely pivotal year globally because of some key moments that will happen. We'll have the follow-up to the Millennium Development Goals. The Sustainability Development Goals will be agreed in September. We have the climate change negotiations will conclude in Paris later in the year, and there's the financing for development, and there's so many things that will happen between now and then. So as Oxfam, we're absolutely heavily involved throughout the organisation, throughout the world, in all of these various areas, and ensuring that our leaders deliver a set of goals that is inclusive, that is universal, that lifts, not just lifts people out of poverty, but ensures a sustainable future for everybody and a much greater sense of fairness. As Oxfam, we have two, outside of the numerous goals that are mentioned and are talked about, we have two key focuses. One is on climate justice, climate change, and the other one is on bridging this horrendous inequality gap. Your listeners might have heard this week the report that we launched, which shows that 1% of the world is going to own the same as a full half of the planet. And this spiralling inequality not only is morally wrong, but it's also extremely detrimental to development. It's extremely detrimental to poor people, and it is preventing economies, preventing society from moving on. So there's a real fight to be had in the next number of months and this year, and European citizens and Irish citizens and all of us can really participate and can be part of this and can help to make this a much stronger agreement, which we hope will bind our leaders for the next 15 years.
Just last question, just to finish up. I'll be interviewing Sorka, Nick Fiona next week about it, your report. Sorka. I've read some conflicting reports about your inequality study. Is it that 1% of the world will own 99%, own the same, 99% or 50% or what?
1% of the population will own half of the wealth of the world. So they'll own the same amount as the other 99%.
Okay.
And that gets even worse when you look at the uber wealthy. There are 80 people in the world that own the same amount of wealth as 3.5 billion poorest people. So this is extreme inequality, and it's getting worse, and it needs to be addressed for everybody's benefit.
Okay, Gene, thanks very much. I'll be talking to Sorka next week. Right?
Thank you.
Now I'm talking to Sharan Kelly, the CEO of Tearfund Ireland and the chair of Dóchas. Sharan, how's it going? Sharan, are you enjoying the event here today, and could you tell us in your own opinion the value and importance of this European Year of Development, please?
Yes, we're having a wonderful afternoon here today. We had the President launch the European Year for Development, and he really gave us some great inspiration about how we as individual citizens and any of us that work in the NGO sector or civil society can really have a real part to play in shaping the future for all citizens across the world. So the European Year for Development really is a year that has been allocated and designated by the European Union as a year that we will all really highlight the issues across the globe that really need to be celebrated, as well as those challenges that really need to be addressed, and the collective way in which everyone, from the ordinary person on the street to any of us who work in the sector, to really make a difference and to really speak out, have our voices heard. And this would be something that across the globe everybody's voice would be heard, that we would see the world as a place that we all live in and we all share. And the President mentioned in his speech many wonderful things, but in particular he talked about every individual having the opportunity to flourish and every individual have an opportunity to have their voices heard.
And he was talking about this similarities, like we're all global citizens in effect. What he was saying, like there's all this talk about people dividing poor countries and rich countries and all. We're all global citizens.
Yeah, he really highlighted that. He said it's time to move away from the they and the them, and it really is about us together. And this whole dynamic of moving away from seeing development sometimes is confused with charity or aid. Actually, no, it's about us as humankind really coming alongside each other and being aware that actually the things we do in terms of how we live affects everybody.
And just to finish up, he really did focus a large part on that, didn't he? Talking about the development, talking about like it isn't charity. A lot of people don't understand what development is and how broad it is. Like, don't you?
I think so, and he acknowledged that too. You know, I think the development sector as well, we work very hard to communicate development in a way that people will understand, and really I think he expressed a real sense that this year, as we do at Dóchas, would feel that this is a year to speak plainly about what development is, and that actually it is about human development, it is about our planet. And I think, yes, he's calling upon us to actually remove the divides and to actually be clear about what we are about, and that it's not about charity.
Okay, Sharan, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Raidió Pobal, do Bhaile Átha Cliath hUiginn.